Despite rising COVID 19 cases, why is Japan going ahead with the Olympics? The total number of games related COVID cases rose to 75 on Wednesday. A Chilean taekwondo player and Dutch skateboarder were ruled out after testing positive. Despite the rising coronavirus cases in Japan and around the world, the Olympics are going ahead after a year long postponement. The Games will be held largely without spectators. This raises an important question. Why is Tokyo desperate to host the Summer Games? Tokyo Olympics. What is at stake? These are said to be the most expensive Olympics in history, and the year long delay has only added to the budget. The organizing committee puts the cost at 15.4 billion. If the games are not held, all the money invested will go down the drain. Most of IOC sponsors are with it or for the long term, but they may have asked for rebates if there were no games. The TV right money is also a big factor in staging the games during the pandemic. According to the New York Times, the IOC may have to refund around 4 billion if the event is not held. If the number of athletes testing positive goes up, will the games be called off? Difficult to say. On Tuesday, the organizing committee for the first time hinted that it may have to take a call on the games if cases in Tokyo and elsewhere keep rising. What would happen if the infection were to spread further? Well, I think when that happens, we have to fully consult the committee CEO. Toshiro Muto said, the infection must spread or the infection may be brought under better control. When we see a concrete situation going forward, then we will consider the matter. The total number of games related COVID cases rose to 75 on Wednesday. A Chilean taekwondo player and a Dutch skateboarder were ruled out after testing positive. IOC President Thomas Bach had recently claimed that there was zero risk of athletes transmitting the virus to each other or local residents. If we look at other big events around the world, the Indian Premier League was suspended in May after a COVID scare with players and staff in 4 franchises infected. In contrast, the NBA had 48 positive cases with 1 week of testing before the season, but the league still went ahead. Many cricket series went ahead despite positive cases, with some with slight delay in original schedule. The recent European Championship in football was staged across the continent at stadiums with spectators and fans congregating in the streets. It resulted in a spike in cases in England. The victory parade of the Italian team in Rome may also contribute to a surge. Are there any domestic political compulsions? Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga is keen to hold a successful and safe Olympics. He has been championing the games despite a majority of the country's population and public health experts in favor of either another postponement or even an outright cancellation. As such, if the Germans are not held, the country's population public health experts in favor of another postponement or even an outright cancellation. As such, if the Germans are not held in the July 23 August 8 window, it will hurt Suga's prospects badly ahead of the general elections in September. Holding a memorable Olympics for all the right reasons would add to Japan's prestige and standing in the world. Another postponement of cancellation may, according to Japanese government, be an embarrassment or failure of sorts. In China, hosting next year's Winter Games also a factor. Yes, Japan and China are regional rivals with a lot of historical baggage. If Japan is not able to hold the Olympics and the situations improve enough by next February for Beijing to hold the big event, it will have a physiological and emotional impact. even if only as a matter of public perception. That's why Japan is ready to go almost at any length to hold the games. The country has gone through an economic downturn, a tsunami, and a nuclear disaster over the last decade. It wants to show that Japan is back among the top nations economically, politically, and also in the sporting arena. China showcased itself as a big player on the global stage through the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Japan wants to do something similar. What is in it for other countries? The Germans are also important to individual participating nations, and the National Olympic Committee, according to the NYT, 549 million is distributed among these organizations, and for most this is a matter of survival. Without the games being held, there may not be a payday. The money assumes added significance during the pandemic when the sporting schedules around the world have taken a big hit, and most of the events have taken place have seen no or reduced spectators. What about the IOC? The IOC cannot afford another postponement. The Summer and Winter Olympics in the same year may not be logistically feasible for the IOC. In that case, there may not be any option but to cancel the Tokyo Games. Altogether, according to the hosting contract, the Olympics are an IOC property and can only be cancelled by them. If Japan takes a unilateral decision, it would have to bear the risk and losses. Thank you.